Hey guys, how you doing today? Haven't done a video in a long time. Kind of out of design. I've really kind of taken a step back to do some internal processing. I have a new marriage. My family's gotten bigger, so I really have taken a lot of time to navigate that with my wife hand in hand, and now I'm starting to get into a season where I'm ready to start, preaching. I guess that's what we call this. I don't really put myself on a platform of a preacher, but nonetheless, the road I've traveled is very unique, and it's very informational for those that it pertains to, and that can get something from it. So I'm getting back into a season where I really want to start sharing, spirituality and the growth and the things that I'm teaching my family and the things I'm teaching my wife. So I'm gonna share with you guys. So new year, 2021, right? We all got our goals, I guess. We got our New Year resolutions. We've got whatever we do. For me, the last few years, it's been a word. It's been kind of wrapped myself around a word for the year. For instance, last year was intentionality. There's a lot of things in my life I was doing that I was being very intentional about, and that's landed me in a place that I'm at now, which is incredibly happy. This year, my wife and I were talking yesterday, and she was sharing with me some stuff from her Bible study, and we got into this thought about, what do we chase after? What are we chasing every day? Case in point, the world versus God. And I brought up a point that if we're chasing the world, if we're shooting forward towards the world, it has no mechanism to get us to God. And I'm talking about the world as a whole. The brokenness and everything, it can't touch the glory of God. So if we're aiming based upon a world standard, and we're going in a direction and trusting our trajectory to where the world places us, I feel like we're all going to be very, very short of the mark that Christ has for us. And let's take it into the perception of an archer. An arrow is only as good as the archer is, right? If the archer sucks and they can't hit a target, well, as an arrow, we're not going to be very effective, because the operator for our arrow, for ourself, is not going to be able to hit a mark with us. Okay, so when we have the world as the archer, we're always going to fall short of the glory of God. Always. Because the world is going to navigate us in a way that leads us to Satan, and it doesn't lead us to the light. It doesn't. The world is broken. It's fallen. It's a fallen world. And if we're allowing that fallenness to be the catalyst in which we propel to our purpose, then guess what? We're not going to hit the mark. Ever. There's so many people in society and just in my life that I look at them and I feel like they're falling short of their mark. And you know what? I would agree with that. They are, and myself included. I look at some of my motivations sometimes in the things I do, and it's money to pay bills, or it's worldly need, or it's stuff like that. And when I get myself to a place where I take myself back and I say, hold on, who's my archer? And I realign and I allow God to be the archer for my life, His trajectory will place me in my purpose on earth. Because see, God is the mechanism. God's the mechanism for our purpose. He's the mechanism that gets us from point A to point B by His will and His will alone. By the kingdom standard, our kingdom purpose, our kingdom mentality, that's all found in and around God as the archer. See, if the archer can pull us back and give us that restraint and then let us go and shoot us in a way that sends us above the nonsense, above the drama, and that arrow arches up, and its trajectory, the curve it takes to the destination in which it was sought to propel to, then we'll hit our mark. See, if we use the world as the archer, then it's not going to hit the target the way we want. It's going to hit the immediate, but it's not going to hit the sustainable. You understand? God is going to take us, and He's going to hit us on a path that takes us where He wants us, and therefore we will land in our purpose on earth. God's the mechanism. And for me, this really just begs the question, what's your trajectory? What's the trajectory that you are seeking out in 2021? Better yet, in 2022, in 2023, right? If you're baking a cake, you got to get your ingredients and you got to mix it. There's a preparation time that takes place before you can actually bake it and eat it. And, for me, 2021, that's preparation time. That's where I'm evaluating my trajectory. All of 2021, what am I doing for my business? What's my trajectory? What's my, spiritually for God, what's my trajectory? If all things that I'm doing aren't pointing to God, then my trajectory is skewed. Bottom line. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if we're talking about your marriage, if we're talking about you as a parent, if we're talking about you as a business owner, if we're talking about you spiritually, if we're talking about you in any which way, shape, or form. It's all about your trajectory. And all of our trajectories have to be set by the Lord Almighty, by our God. He has to set our trajectory. And a part of that is being willing, being submissive, being in a position mentally and spiritually where we say, okay, God, I'm the arrow, you're the archer. Shoot me in the path that you want me to go in. Direct my steps. Order my steps. Tell me what you want from me next. And we all do this, right? We all say, God, I'm here, I'm open, I'm available, I'm do as you please with me, and then we turn around, we end the prayer, and then we get that phone call, and now we're off and chasing what the world called us for, right? I think that I don't think that I'm being over the mark by saying we all do this. We all do it. I do it. Bill collector calls. There's time to pay a bill. It's rent, mortgage, whatever. Guess what? Now my trajectory is to get that bill paid, right? I mean, if you don't feel this way at some point in your day, then I guess I'm wrong, and that's fine. But for me, this works. This is what it is. So, we get that phone call about the bill. Well, now all we're thinking about is this bill. We're chasing this money for this bill. Well, guess what? What about the money for everything else? What about the money for the other bills? We lost our focus on that because the world has now placed us on this path to worry about that bill, right? Well, God wants to put us in a place where there's such an abundance of our needs being met that there's an overflow, that our cup floweth over. And that extra that we have to give to those around us in our sphere of influence. Maybe it's not money you're giving to somebody. Maybe it's your time. Maybe it's your attention. Maybe you're not gonna get that extra $100,000 this year, but you're gonna get a substantial amount that's gonna allow you to spend more time with your children, not go out and hustle harder. All too often, I think God gives us some, right? He gives us this thing. He gives us this thing we need, and we take that thing that we needed from God, and we take it and we utilize it, but we don't utilize it in the way that God had for us, right? So let me paint a picture for that. So I get a big job with my company, $400,000 job, right? Job's pretty cut forth. It's pretty easy. We're just going to do the work, and it's going to get done. Well, that money now allows me to do a couple different things. That money allows me to further push harder and be home less and further promote my company. Or maybe that money God placed in our life in order for us to use it and to manipulate it in a way that allows us to spend more time with our family. But instead, I'm chasing harder. I'm chasing another cell. I'm chasing this. I'm chasing that. So it's all about trajectory, guys. What's yours? Let me know.